Hey folks, I'm Action Kid. I'm with Tom Delgado, comedian and tour guide.
What's up, everybody?
We're gonna go on 57th Street today.
Billionaire's Row.
Yeah.
Baby.
Rich people live here.
Let's go.
I didn't guess from the title.
All right. Let's do it. So we're walking on 57th Street right now, and we're crossing Park Avenue. To your left, you're going to see all the way down there. You're going to see the Helmsley Building. That's where Grand Central Terminal is. Grand Central Terminal is actually the reason Park Avenue even exists. Underneath us right now are going trains leaving Grand Central Terminal. When they were electrified in the early 1900s, all of this, which was open air tracks before, was able to be paved over. Before that, this is where all the smoke and all that stuff had to let out.
Oh,
in the early 1900s, yeah, that's right. This didn't exist. So what happened was in the early 1900s, when this was paved over, it became very valuable real estate because the city was booming back then. So all the rich moved to this area. Park Avenue became really cool.
Wow. So why is it called Park Avenue if there's so much pollution here?
Well, because the park is somewhat nearby, but not that close. And over here to the left, now we're walking on 57th Street. They're calling 57th Street Billionaire's Row right now because of all the extremely rich people who live here. This isn't for lawyers and doctors. This is for like the uber wealthy. This is a good example of it right here. You have the 432 Park Avenue.
Wow.
Up until recently, this was the tallest residential skyscraper in the Western Hemisphere. It's 1,396 feet tall, which is taller than the roof of One World Trade. You can see it from anywhere in the city, pretty much, anywhere in the other boroughs. So everyone else calls it the middle finger of Manhattan.
The middle finger of Manhattan.
Because it's the island of Manhattan. All the rich people in the island of Manhattan giving the finger to the rest of the city.
You know, it's also giving the middle finger to Park Avenue because it's not on Park Avenue.
That's right. It's not on Park.
It's on 57th.
Yeah, but it's people like ⁴ and J-Lo had a place there. They sold theirs. David Chu lives there. He is the founder of Nautica. The actual penthouse there was bought by a Saudi royal. It was bought for $87 million, to give you an idea.
Man.
Yeah. Another problem with a lot of these. Oh, and also too, this is the Four Seasons to my right. We just walked by the Four Seasons.
Oh, Four Seasons.
Yeah. The Four Seasons has a suite. You can see it says Ty Warner there. Ty Warner was one of the inventors of Beanie Babies. You guys remember
Really?
Ty? Yeah. They have a suite named after him in this hotel, and it costs $50,000 a night to stay there.
$50,000.
Yeah, $50,000 a night.
All this money is so unimaginable, you know?
I know. $50,000 a night. The place has heated floors, which actually I could kind of understand because if you're willing to pay $50,000 for one night hotel room, your feet are probably well accustomed to the burning coals of hell. So it's probably very good for you.
Wow.
Here's the Fuller Building. This is kind of cool. This is an Art Deco building we're walking by. This was built in 1929.
Oh, wow.
It's called the Fuller Building because of the Fuller Construction Company, which, little trivia, was the company that built the Flatiron Building.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
The Fuller Building used to be
The Fuller Building used to be the Flatiron Building, and they left the Flatiron Building in 1929 for this building here.
So we got some history here.
Look at that, some trivia there.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to learn some things there, Ken.
Tom, you must know somebody who lives up there and can get us a room up there.
No, I've been in the 15 Central Park West before. That's a fancy building. That's over on Central Park West, but I've never been up to any of these.
Oh, man. We got to get some connections going.
I know, thanks. Tell me about it. Need a few billion more subscribers. Speaking of which, if you have a chance, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Tom DNYC. Thank you very much. Follow me on Instagram, Tom DNYC. Please, please, God. Sorry. Self-promotion.
Yeah.
You have all the fancy, like Fendi here. You got Fendi.
Fendi. Oh.
Yeah.
And we got this thing across the street, too. Which one is this?
What? Breitling?
This big black building.
Oh, it's just an office building, I think. But you know Fendi, right? You've heard of Fendi? Karl Lagerfeld was the designer for it for a long time.
By the way, please excuse us if we pronounce these names incorrectly.
Yeah. Like Dior.
Dior.
And Channel.
Channel. Yeah, go visit Tom's channel.
Exactly.
It's a really cool one.
Yeah, right. There you go. But you have all these fancy stores on this street because of all the money here. Tiffany & Co., very obvious one. Tiffany started in 1837. It actually moved. It's here temporarily because it moved from its location over here on the corner, which it's been at since 1940, I believe. But you may know it from Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's very, the blue box, a light blue box. They have an engagement ring in there worth $2.5 million. He's famous. Louis Comfort Tiffany made it famous. You guys know the song Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, was it Deep Blue Something? Or it's like, and I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, All right, I'm old. That's from 1995. But
St. Laurent, Paris.
yeah.
Oh, look at this light
Oh, yeah.
bulbs. That looks like a ring, actually. A little bit.
It's pretty nice. Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent. That's I'm butchering that. Sorry. Yves Saint Laurent he died in I think 2008, and in 2009 he was voted by Forbes the highest dead paid celebrity of the year.
Oh,
Because he made like $350 million even being dead.
I think these mannequins are worth more than me.
Don't sell yourself short, Ken. Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has been around since the mid 1800s. It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of them.
It's not called Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton, thank you very much. You can see up there to the north is Central Park. It's 59th, and this is Bergdorf Goodman here to the right. Bergdorf Goodman is named after a man named Bergdorf, who's a tailor down near Union Square. And his apprentice was Edwin Goodman, and he had united with him in 1901. They moved their store here in 1928.
Oh.
But what it replaced is more interesting. It replaced Vanderbilt's mansion, actually.
And don't forget, here we got the Trump Tower.
That's
Right
Trump.
there.
That is Trump Tower. Yeah, Trump Tower, White House North. That's where
White House North.
That's where his penthouse is located. But also, too, interesting about the Vanderbilt mansion, it was the biggest single residence ever built in New York City. It was over 140 rooms, 6 stories. It was a mansion. It was gigantic, and it was built right there. It was right there where the Bergdorf Goodman house sits.
And here we have across the street. What?
Ermenegildo Zegna. You got to do this with your hands to pronounce it right.
Okay.
Ermenegildo Zegna. So yeah, you have all these different more construction. I hate walking under these things, man.
Pedestrian walkway, like we couldn't figure that out already. I would have gone over here.
Oh wow, take it easy, Ken. You're getting saucy over there. Yeah, we're continuing to walk here on 57th Street. So just to give you an idea, the park starts up at 59th Street, so we're 2 blocks from where Central Park begins.
Wonder what they're building here.
I wonder if it's condos.
Another billionaire skyscraper?
Probably. So this is kind of cool.
Whoa.
This is it's called the Solo building, the Solo building. There you can see Solo.
Solo.
Yeah, it's West 9th, 57th Street. Here's some trivia about this building. This building was Chandler's offices and Friends. The exterior is this.
Wow.
Also, the Mugatu's headquarters in Zoolander was this building. And it was featured in Superman.
Oh.
Like
Does Han Solo live here? From
No, Han Solo. No, nice try.
Oh man.
No, it was in Superman. There's like a jewel thief that like uses suction cups, I think, and it's on this building. It's also where 9 West, the shoe company, got its start because it's 9 West, 57th Street. Oh, come on, man! You guys are learning things. And there's Sunglass Hut.
Sunglass Hut.
Sunglass Hut.
We can't make everything too fancy, right?
You try. So right now we're walking between 5th and 6th. This is the longest distance between any of the 2 avenues. Now we'll be getting to 6th Avenue here very soon. There's Nobu, the famous sushi place.
Nobu.
I remember I used to have a friend who worked at Nobu. She was one of the hostesses there. And Alec Baldwin came in to eat. And she sat him, and then he left, whatever. He called the restaurant to get her phone number, and then called her to go out on a date. And they gave it to him. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But I guess
weird.
when you're that famous, you can do whatever you want. But she went on the date with him, obviously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it's pretty funny, man. Like that kind of story. Can't make that stuff up. Anyways, we're walking here. This is 6th Avenue. Avenue of the Americas.
Avenue of the Americas.
Yeah. Bill LaGuardia gave it that name. And it ends at Central Park, a part of Central Park where they put a bunch of American Liberator statues there at the entrance. Tune in to see if we do a video on that.
Here we go. Some more fancy, smashy buildings up ahead.
Yeah, some big boys, some very, very famous ones here. So what's interesting too is these buildings exist on 57th Street for a reason. What happened is on 59th Street and 58th Street, there are height restrictions limiting how tall your building can be because it would cause shadows. It would create shadows over Central Park, right?
Oh, whoa.
So they wanted to protect the light of Central Park, etc. In fact, they blocked a super tall building from being built on Columbus Circle in the 1980s with those restrictions. So developers learned their lesson, and they're like, okay, sure, that's fine. We'll just build them on 57th Street. We'll build them so high it doesn't matter that you guys have restrictions, and that's what's happened. That's why they're so gigantic on 57th Street, so they can still get all their huge views of Central Park and sell for a lot of money.
Yeah. And when I went up to like the Empire State Building, I just saw how skinny these skyscrapers are.
Yeah, they're very thin because they take up lots that aren't created for that kind of size. What's interesting too is most of these buildings are like 1/3 occupied because even the people who buy the condos don't live there. They're just stashing money away. Right. So it's kind of a problem, I guess they're saying. But there's the Directors Guild Theater.
Directors Guild.
Yeah. You guys wait 1 second. I got to run inside and give my headshot and resume. See if I can get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm an actor. No big deal.
111, right?
Yep, there's 111, the Steinway building. They built on top of the Steinway.
We should cross the street so we can see it.
Yeah, if you want, we can cross over here.
Let's go over here.
You sure?
Yeah. I think there's more super tall buildings we can see better from the other side of the street.
That's true.
Over here, you just see construction. That's definitely the best view in New York, right?
There, you see it, Steinway, you see the picture. That's it.
Ah, here you go. It's topped out. Oh.
Steinway named after the piano company, Steinway. They used to have one of their factory buildings, showrooms there.
Uh-huh.
Built on top of it. All right, we're gonna cross here. There you can see down 57th. Notice too that it's uphill.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at this. Oh my gosh. Look how tall these are.
They're huge. And look up at this one. Yeah, look at this. There's Steinway building, 111.
It's the longest middle finger I've ever seen.
But you notice that it's hilly here. People forget Manhattan is actually, was very hilly back in the day. Manhattan is actually Lenape Indian, they say, for the land of many hills. Island of many hills, yeah. They flattened it out when they implemented the grid in 1811. They started flattening out the entire island, or making it at least, you know, so you go see there's Steinway.
Yeah, you just see how tall these buildings are just by looking up. It's only a few $1 billion to build a fireplace there at the top, right?
Yeah. It's tall. I believe it's 1,428 feet tall.
Wow.
Which is taller than, what's it called? 432.
432.
Directors Guild. Should I go in and give my headshot and resume, Ken?
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe I'll get a job. Anyways, this is a cool building, Calvary Baptist Church. It's built in the late 1800s, or at least the church was started in the late 1800s. I believe the building was a bit later. But Kathy Lee Gifford's brother used to be the head pastor of that church, which is kind of random. Bill Clinton's worshipped there before. Random stuff. Here's another mega tall. Look at this one. That's 157, 57th Street. It's 1,005 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. That one, that was one of the first super talls we built. That was actually, they were building it during Hurricane Sandy, and it was a famous thing where the crane came loose. I don't know if you remember that. Remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
And the crane almost fell. Whoa. That was the building they were building. And the crane almost fell and hurt people. But that building formerly had the most expensive apartment ever sold. The penthouse there went for like $100 million. The Prime Minister of Qatar bought it. Also, too, you have the Russian tea room. This was started in 1927. Really famous, like place for artists to hang out. People like Woody Allen used to hang out here. I don't know if I could say him. He got canceled. Oh no.
Now I know why you said rushing, because you thought of this place.
Yeah, right. I did say you're right. You're right. Ken. Now you got good old Carnegie Hall here.
Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
You gotta sing for Carnegie Hall.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Carnegie Hall. There's a famous question of how do you get to Carnegie Hall? How do you get there, Carnegie Hall, Ken?
How do you get there?
When someone asks you how do you get to Carnegie Hall, you know what you say?
I don't know.
Practice, practice, practice.
Oh.
Come on, that's like the
That's
old
how
legend.
you do it. Oh.
Yeah, it was built in 1891. This is Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate. I don't know if he named it himself, but the steel magnate, Andrew Carnegie, built this. Supposed to be some of the greatest acoustics in the world. Everyone's performed there, from like James Taylor to Billie Holiday to. But yeah, Ken, now you know. Practice, practice, practice. The same. I just tell people the same way you become Ken's tour guide. Practice, practice, practice.
Aha.
Come on.
How you do it.
It's a pretty building though. You can check it out. Look at it.
Oh yeah, look at the. I guess this is fire escape on the side there too.
Yeah.
It's very unique.
We're almost at the end.
Oh, look at this one.
Yeah, this one's nuts.
The
This is
last super tall.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
the
it.
tallest one.
This is the tallest one. 1,550 feet. This is the second tallest building in the country, behind only One World Trade. And it's the tallest residential skyscraper. Nordstrom Tower, they call it too. You see there it says Nordstrom. It's got the Nordstrom in New York there.
I've also heard it called the Extel Tower as well.
Sure.
That's the development company.
Yep.
Yep, Nordstrom.
There it is, Nordstrom.
Luckily, I'm on straight out.
That's how you get your name on a building, right? Just buy most of the space in it.
That's right. So this is the Nordstrom Tower. 225 57th Street.
It's like the Pan Am building, bought the building behind Grand Central Terminal.
Right, right.
Now it's a MetLife.
What's interesting too is that they're saying that all these supertalls that are going up are going to cast a shadow on Central Park. It's like a big point of contention in Central Park. People are like complaining and they're protesting. They're seeing if they can implement some kind of vetting process, because there's still more buildings being planned.
Wow.
So it's not the end. And it's important to keep in mind, these are for the uber rich. We're talking billionaires. And by the way, New York City has the most billionaires of any city in the world. 79 billionaires call New York City their primary residence, with a net worth of $364 billion. That's like the GDP of Denmark.
Whoa.
That exists here in the city, of just 79 people. So you can imagine they throw their weight around. People
Yeah.
listen.
I mean, it was not too long ago we had a billionaire as our mayor.
That's true.
Now
And he's the richest.
Bloomberg.
He's the richest in New York. He's the richest guy in New York. Just saying a lot.
Yeah.
And here you have Broadway. This is a cool strip of Broadway that leads out to Columbus Circle. If you remember the movie Ghostbusters. Remember the movie Ghostbusters where the
I remember
Marshmallow
that,
Man
yep.
first appears? This is where he comes out. And he comes out into Columbus Circle.
That Marshmallow Man still haunts me to this day.
Does it?
When
Does
I
it really?
sleep, yeah.
It keeps you up at night, Ken?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is all 57th Street, and it kind of ends over here at 8th Avenue because, well, Billionaire's Row at least ends here, because the views of the park aren't the same. It really is just basically 5th Avenue, or Park Avenue really, to 8th Avenue, really. That being said, everything here is expensive. It's not just like, you know.
Yeah. What's
There's
a
a
couple
lot.
$1 billion less, right?
Yeah. Some really, really expensive. I mean, it's crazy, the real estate here. Like, for example, Chelsea Market. You know that building, Ken?
Yeah, I remember that.
You've done a walk there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That building sold to Google 2 years ago for $2.4 billion.
Wow.
That building, I don't think is even, it's like 6, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 stories tall. It's not even that big. $2.4 billion. You want to walk to Columbus Circle?
Yeah, let's go to Columbus Circle.
So now we're walking towards Columbus Circle, we're walking up 8th Avenue. Another thing to keep in mind is all these streets are numbered because we're on the grid of Manhattan, which was implemented in the year 1811. I kind of mentioned it. But when it was implemented, there was really not a whole lot in New York City at the time. And they developed it to basically inhabit the island, to sell off the land, to make it more organized. And it starts down at Houston Street in the south.
Mm-hmm.
Because below that, things had already been kind of developed. With the only exception being Greenwich Village, which still has street names and different street paths. But actually the grid, interestingly enough, Ken, is one of the reasons why traffic in New York is so terrible. Because it didn't account for cars because they weren't invented yet.
Oh,
yeah, so there aren't
why.
enough avenues on the grid for the cars. The streets aren't wide enough, and there are no alleyways on the grid. So construction vehicles, garbage trucks, taxis, they park in the middle of the street every single day of the week. So traffic is a nightmare, despite the fact that only around 20% of New Yorkers have cars. That's right.
New York's a very old city.
It is.
We gotta go back in time and tell those planners, like, plan the city better.
Yeah.
Don't do it this way.
But you know what, in all fairness, I'll say the grid is kind of nice. Milan Kundera, the famous author, once said that New York is beauty by accident, and I think the grid is a good example of that. Because when it was implemented, people did make fun of it for being so simple and so whatever. But it's one of the reasons why New York is also so open to visitors and immigrants, because you're here for 5 days and you know your way around. It's so simple.
Yeah.
People in Europe used to make fun of it because it doesn't have any Champs-Élysées and sweeping boulevards. But because it's so simple, you know your way around almost immediately. So you feel welcome, you feel part of the city almost immediately, which is kind of a cool thing. Little happy accident.
Unless you get like stuck in an intersection like 1st Avenue and 1st Street.
Yeah.
I think that was in a episode, a TV episode something. It's like, I'm at the center of the universe, at first to first. Something like that.
Wait, what TV show is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It might have been Seinfeld, I don't know.
And this is Broadway. You're looking down at Broadway. What do you think, Ken? Should we end up here?
Yeah, let's end the Columbus Circle.
Okay, let's go in. We gotta cross somewhere here. Cross over here.
Yeah, this is one of the inefficient parts of the street grid. We gotta go around this whole circle just to cross the street.
Yeah. We're going to the sunny area there. Now we're in Columbus Circle. This is the southwest corner of Central Park.
I think we can go.
We can cross here. Let's get in the sun.
Uh-huh.
Don't do this at home, kids. Always wait for the light. This is Columbus Circle. Named after the most livable city in the world, Columbus, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
No, it's actually named after Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus.
They built this in 1892 to commemorate 400 years since Christopher Columbus discovered America. But yeah, it's been here since then.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cover that another time. But what do you think, Ken?
Oh yeah, good. And also, there's a lot of pigeons here. They love this spot for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's Time Warner Center. You can see the pigeons up there too.
Uh-huh. All right, folks. We're gonna end the video here.
We did it.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button.
Smash the like
Smash
button.
it so we can get up to one of these buildings all the way at the top of Billionaire's Row.
Yeah,
right?
so Ken can live in one of these buildings and forget about all of us.
Yeah. I'll be one of these like elite people who don't care about
That's right.
common folk anymore. But
Yeah.
seriously,
That's
I
his
won't do
dream.
that. I'll still care about you folks. But anyway, take care and I'll see you later.
See you guys.
Bye.